So much to talk about, but very quickly for you all at home, the audience, we want to let y'all know our biggest takeaways from Game 1. An action-packed game, a lot to say. Joy, what was your biggest takeaway from the Mavs win?
The Mavs look like the more experienced team. Being precise, making the right decisions at the end of the game, hugely important. Timberwolves are a really good team, but the Mavs have a little more experience, and particularly at the top end. And they look a little tired, honestly. They looked a little
not that.
A little tired, a little confused at the end. And listen, they played a great game. That was a great game. It was a great watch. It went all the way down to the line. But Shea says this all the time. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And in these situations, in the postseason, down to the wire, on the line, Western Conference Finals, you got to close the game out. And they didn't. 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter. They're down 4 points with 17 seconds left. They have to call their last time out because they couldn't inbound the ball. On the inbounds, Conley misses the steal. They don't foul Derrick Jones, who's a 70% free throw shooter. They foul Kyrie instead. He's 90%. Then Conley misses the second free throw.
He did,
You know, it's just, and listen, these are great players. Like, Conley's a great player, but you got to close the game. So, to me, the Mavs took advantage of the mistakes that they made. There were some really bad, like, just throwaway turnovers. It just didn't look precise at the end of the game, and that's what you need to do, especially against a team like the Mavs, who are going to take advantage of it. So, to me, they look like a little more experienced, and they didn't close out.
Well said. My biggest takeaway is simple, and we need to marvel over this more. Kyrie Irving's maturity has met the moment. I don't know if y'all were watching Kyrie Irving post-game with the Inside the NBA crew, and he simply said, last year when we got exited from playoff contention, I watched all of my peers in the playoffs, and I said to myself, I need to lead more. That's what Kyrie Irving said. He said, I need to lead more. He said, this year, I didn't say it publicly. I said it privately. We got to get to 50 wins. He said, what I told my teammates publicly is that defensively, you can only win if you play solid defense. Kyrie Irving has not been the vocal leader this year that we've seen in years past. He's been a completely different vocal leader, rather. He's been an incredible vocal leader this year. But the most important thing, I believe he said, Charles Barkley said, hey, Kyrie, why in the world did you come out the gate swinging? I mean, you had more shot attempts in the first quarter than you had in the first half of any game last series. Why'd you come out swinging? And what Kyrie said was so eloquent and it was so poignant. He said, I know I've been in the finals before. Some of these other cats ain't been in the finals before. You get nervous. Palms get a little bit sweaty. Heart start beating a little bit faster. So I wanted to make sure I put the team on my back early because some of the other guys I could tell were nervous in the locker room. That is leadership.
Love
we
Kyrie.
got so many athletes, basketball, football alike, that simply want to lead by example. Kudos, you can lead yourself by example. But if you want to lead a team of men in the NBA, if you want to lead a team of men, sometimes you have to use your words. Your actions speak so loud I can't hear what you're telling me. Yeah, that's cute. Let your actions speak and let your words speak. Kyrie's maturity has met the moment. 2-5, that's my takeaway.
That was pretty good. And Kyrie was cooking.
He was cooking.
Right? He was talking and he was acting, huh? I got 3 of them. So one is they started fast, right? And they were really, really aggressive. Kyrie Irving, typically in the playoffs this year, has been starting slow and then finishing fast in the second half. You know, Jason Kidd talked about last series, like we need Kyrie to get going earlier, right? And I think he lets kind of Luka do his thing, or it was reversed. Kyrie went crazy in the first half, and then Luka finished it out. Big game or big plays late in the game, he did that. That's what your superstars do, right? I think it's a point where he's got like 15 points out of the last couple. So they did that. Another thing is defense, right? You talked about it with Kyrie. I watched them boys playing defense. We all talk about the offense, this and the third. They had the size difference was more for the Timberwolves. I didn't see a difference. Cat played solid. He played okay, but he wasn't in the post. He wasn't dominant as a big man. He wasn't. And I was surprised to see P.J. Washington. Yeah, Washington, the way he played against him. So those are the big two. Then the last one was finishing the game, right? It was up and down, right? The leads changed so much. But then we had to lock in, got to play good defense, get a stop, and then go down there and score, make free throws, get rebounds, stuff like that. All that matters. They played championship basketball last night. And I think this series, man, I hate to say it. I won't say it. I won't say it.
Don't say it.
I'm going to save it a little bit.
Man.
James Jones, biggest takeaway, big dog.
I was about to say, because you was about to change my take, because what I took out of the thing is it's going 7.
It ain't going 7.
Came out the gate, Minnesota, hit a couple threes, they up 8 points.
Yeah.
Here come the Mavs. Third quarter, Mavs up, here come the Timberwolves. Cat hit that big 3, put them up, And then finished the game, Luka, Kyrie finished the game. But as I was watching, I'm like, man, this is a really good basketball game. It's going back and forth. This is going 7. The Wolves will respond. This is going 7. You got premier players out there, especially that's handling the rock for the majority, talking about the guards. This is going to be a really good series.
I got one more thing to say.
Yes, sir.
Did you feel like the Mavericks played really, really well?
No.
That was their better game one.
Okay, it was better.
That was their
What you
better
think?
game one.
I mean, they usually lose.
They didn't play that well.
Luka didn't shoot.
They shoot threes.
Yeah, Luka didn't shoot well.
They won this game in the paint.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
You talking about so if you watch PJ last series was shooting the tray ball, right? Open shots. Them same open shots he was missing, they all was. So you telling me they beat the Timberwolves on the road, right? And they're a smaller team in the paint?
Yeah.
Now what the hell you think is gonna happen when we shoot our not even great, let's just shoot a normal 3-point percentage.
Yeah. Here's what's fascinating. Hold on. The names that have been mentioned so far, as y'all have been tuning in with us for nearly 7 minutes now, are Kyrie, obviously, are Luka, are PJ, are Cat, are Conley. We have yet to mention the name Anthony Edwards.
Ant-Man.
He said, I think we was tired, probably. We got into a very heated conversation after Game 7 when the Timberwolves beat Mike Malone's Denver Nuggets, because Mike Malone went to the podium and said, I'll be honest with y'all, man, we're tired. After winning the NBA title last year, we've played 48 days longer than the Timberwolves. We're tired. I had no issue with it because I said it was an explanation. It's not an excuse. I can't come in front of y'all, the national audience, and now change my opinion. It sounds terrible. Sounds terrible. Ant-Man, you can't say it. But I do understand, Joy Taylor, the dude was tired. They played Game 7 at altitude. I understand it, but it sounds bad. Joy, where do you stand?
I'm not surprised at all. In fact, we talked about also who was going to have the early advantage in this series. I don't know if we have this video. Let's cut to this.
Joy Taylor, early edge.
I actually think it's the Mavs because they closed the series out on Saturday in 6 games at home. So they have a little bit more rest. We talked a lot about rest and fatigue and all of that. I think they have a little more rest on their side. I'm not giving my pick yet, but I can't wait for this. I'm so excited. Still excited, still right. But here's the problem. I agree with you. It's a reason, not an excuse. And I obviously thought that that's how it was going to play out. Because the rest matters, and being tired matters, and they were in a dogfight with the Denver Nuggets, who are a very good team. But you can't say it. You can't say it. And here's my issue with it. I don't want to tell Ant to change anything about himself. The reason he is a star, the reason we are enjoying him is because of everything that he is on the court. He doesn't hold anything back. He is emotional. He is expressive. He talks trash. He's in your face. He's celebrating. He's very emotional, and we like seeing that. So I don't like to tell any young player, like, hey, like, you know, give us some coach speak here. But if I was to give you any advice, being in this media game for quite some time, listen to old Auntie Joy and don't bring up fatigue or tired or any of it, because nobody wants to hear it. Whether it is true, whether it is the complete accurate reason why you're struggling or why you lost the game or why you weren't on your best that day, no one is going to want to hear it. Not fans, not media, probably not anyone in the building. And while I think it's perfectly reasonable, obviously, this is what I thought was going to happen. If you say it, you're going to hear a little bit of this.
Let me set the table. We got 9 years professional sports with James Jones in a green suit. We got 12 years professional sports with Shady McCoy. We got an all-time rushing leader. We got an all-time reception leader. We got dudes that have played professional sports at the highest level. And what I would say is a more grueling physical sport, that is football. So, James, as you answer the question, when you hear Ant-Man say, we were tired, probably, you got an issue?
I do. And the main issue I have with it is they played 2 games to start the series off in high altitude, right? And they won. Came back home, they got the brakes beat off. Ant stood up on that podium. He said, we came out flat, but I'm going to be ready for Game 4. The swag, the confidence, that's how you won that last series. Your teammates fed off of you. When you yelling at the crowd, I see y'all for Game 7, your teammates feed off of that. When you stand up at this podium and say, I got Murray, your teammates feed off of that. So now you come to the podium after a Game 1 loss. And I'm cool with you saying I'm tired, but watch Game 2. It was none of that. It was, I'm tired, he rubbing his head and all that. You know who else see that too? Your teammates, dog. and your teammates.
True.
They following you. You are the leader of this team. 22 years old, whatever it may be, you are the leader. Not Cat, not Rudy, none of them other dudes. You are the leader. So they feed off of that energy too. And if Ant-Man tired and looking like he tired at the podium, then they probably gonna come out tired game too. Now, I don't know what's being said behind closed doors, but your teammates see this, your teammates feed off of this. You have to be able to respond after a loss the same way you was responding when y'all lost to the Denver Nuggets. That's what I wanted to see.
Y'all cooking today. Keep going, 2-5.
Question with, or the issue with him doing that tired thing?
Why you act like you don't know the question?
Nah, because
You heard the question.
I like Ant-Man, so it's kind of like...
Nope. Don't give me I like Ant-Man take.
No, what I'm saying is it's hard to, like, process that because he's such a dog-type player, right? You know, the reason why we kind of compare him to Mike, I mean, some of it is because the way he plays, but a lot of it is his attitude, the way he competes. So him saying I don't really get it because, like, dude like Luka having 19 points in the fourth quarter, is that fatigue? Is it? Luka ain't moving fast at all. Like, there's certain things that I just don't, it don't register. Like Kobe Bryant, they ain't complaining about being tired. All the greats, they're not doing that. So I don't even want to look at that part, but I will say this. When I watched the game, the way they lost, you didn't see that fight, though. You didn't see that fire like we normally see. I see a lot of settling for open threes, open jump shots. They don't really do that.
Shady, I can't let you off that easy.
Okay.
After the Game 7, Mike Malone, head coach for the Nuggets, he went to the podium. He said they were tired. I gave a passionate reason. Joy gave a passionate reason. James gave a passionate reason. You gave a passionate reason. You gave a brilliant answer. Unacceptable. You said everybody tired. Well, I don't want to hear, Mike Malone, that you tired. Now everybody tired. Now Ant-Man, a potential future face of the league. After Game 1, Western Conference Finals, he goes to the podium and he utters essentially the same thing that Mike Malone said that you didn't have grace for. Why has the tune changed?
Because I just, from a player standpoint, I don't really believe that. Like, there's some players that didn't play 40 minutes, right? There's 6 man a year and they play like 25 minutes. Like, is he really tired? Is he fatigued? You know what I'm saying? And you watch the Timberwolves, they do a lot of substitutions. So, I mean, maybe he was tired, I guess. Maybe he was tired. I don't know. But when I watched the game, I didn't see no fatigue. I just seen a team that just strapped up, play better. Was you tired? I watched him, Ant-Man. This is what I'm saying. Like, he's saying this, but I watched the game, right? And we only know what he feels because of what he's saying. But I watched him pick up Kyrie Irving from inbound to inbound. He did do that. He was doing that. So, like, if you fatigue, I played basketball. If I'm tired, I ain't doing all that.
What about the end of the game?
Fighting through the screens, he was doing all that. So,
end of the game, I don't recall Ant-Man going to the cup much at all. Ant-Man, remember, end of game, impact, he was shooting threes.
Now, I'm about to say this. Now, even earlier in the game, right, he was doing a lot of jump shots. But they were working, right? McDaniels shooting a lot of jump shots. They were working. Cat, for the threes he did take, late in the game, he made some of them. So, I guess they fell in love with the jumper too much. Because normally you see him going to the cup and et cetera.
Correct.
And then, like, all these little things, like Rudy. I mean, I don't know how tired he was. He didn't even have a real effect. But how do you get out-rebound when you're a bigger team? So when we say fatigue, I guess it's like a coward way to just get out of it. But if you really watch the game, right, turnovers. I seen Ant-Man throw the ball in the stands 4 times last night. Is that fatigue? Like, you see what I'm saying? So some of these, like fatigue to me is not get back on defense. Sometimes settle for jump shots late in the game. Like, all these little things could be fatigue. But when I watched the game, it was more than just fatigue than why they lost. That's why I didn't believe it.
It's more focus over fatigue to me.
But don't you think they're the same? Like, we've all played sports.
I think there can be a correlation for sure. And again, I thought that this was how it was going to go because the Mavs did have more time off and they weren't playing at altitude and they weren't going up against the Nuggets. No disrespect to the Thunder, but the Nuggets are a really big physical team. So it can take a lot out of you. I don't think, again, he might have been tired and that be the reason why he wasn't focused. But whether it is fatigue or being tired or not, at the end of the day, you definitely don't want to hear this and you definitely don't want to hear game 1.
I mean, real quick, the another thing is like, even fatigue or not fatigue, you call out one of the most skilled players we've ever seen. And guess what he did? He answered, that's what you want me. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, and that's what he got from the rip. We ain't Luka, none of that. Kyrie Irving up and down. You ain't, I don't care how many games you play as a world-class athlete, right? In the beginning of the game, you're not tired. Yeah. And in the beginning of the game, Kyrie Irving went to work. So that's why I say he said fatigue, but I watched the game. Yeah.
And for me, like I said, it's all about leadership and how you say stuff, right? You are a leader, right? You're the leader of this team. You stood up there after your Denver Nuggets loss, and you stood up there like a man, hey, they got after us. We came out flat. I'll be back for game 4. This right here, come on, man. You calling people out, and then you going to say, I'm tired, At the end of the game, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do
You can't do that,
You
man.
can't do that. You know
James,
what I'm
you
saying?
had me thinking while you was talking. What the leader says is acceptable, especially in sports on the field. I remember being at Texas my senior year. We had a first-round pick, and we're sitting there dying. It's a grueling workout, 21-10s, which means you got to run 110 yards. You get about a 40-second break. You got to run 110 yards. You do it on the minute, meaning you have 20 seconds to run it, 40 seconds rest. 20 seconds to run it, 40-second rest, etc. Trying to get some water. Trainer, let me get some water. Hey, no water.
No water.
I'm thirsty. No water.
No water.
Leader says no water. No water. Because you might not have time in the middle of a series to call for a trainer and get some water. So, James, as you were talking, I was shook back into that moment because you're right. If Ant-Man says, we was tired. Oh, yeah, we were tired. No, he was probably tired, right? Yeah, we were tired. So you can't, as the leader, and he's only 22, right? So there is that grace period. But you hit that nail on the head, I believe.
And Shady played with some great quarterbacks as well. And
Well,
I'm sure
the greatest.
The greatest and some of the greats, because you play with Patty too. So I'm assuming they said in the locker room certain stuff that carried a whole lot of weight. Something in the huddle that carried a whole lot of weight. If them dudes got in the huddle, like, I don't know if we finna score, I'm tired. What you think the offense gonna look like? And you gonna look at him like, hold on. Aaron Rodgers stood up there, season going bad, relax.
Yeah.
You did say that.
And the whole team is like, we good. And the whole Denver Nuggets series, you was talking that stuff and backing it up, but your teammates was feeding off you as well. Now you can't get up here like that and your teammates feed off of this energy and they go the wrong way. You in finals, homeboy, Western Conference Finals. Hey, get it done.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.